Hey everybody, it's Gungle Bill here. Um, this is this isn't really for everybody else. It's kind of like just me making a statement to Trump and possibly some of the Democrats that I know. As far as um, yeah, you'll see. I don't have this really super planned out. It's really just kind of off the top of my head, but I I guess I'll start with I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I live in Missouri, and Missouri doesn't really have a huge Democratic pool. It usually goes red. In fact, almost always. And I couldn't stand I couldn't stand Hillary, but I had a feeling that Trump would pull Missouri. I was pretty sure of it actually. So that being said, um, I think we actually voted for um, I think it might have been a third party, if I'm not mistaken. It was Jill Stein. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was Jill Stein. And the reason I did that was because I believe that third parties should have an option. And because I knew that Missouri wasn't going to vote for Hillary, that it was going for Trump, I felt like safe to vote, for the third party. I feel like they need to get more votes here and there when they can because they need, the government needs more parties. I think it would make things a little better, a little more competitive. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I felt in 2016. Now, I did vote for him in 2020, as I know many people did, and I personally believe that he was robbed of that. I think it was manipulation from media, manipulation from other politicians. I think that in many ways, I don't want to say stolen because it was just kind of robbed. There was a lot of little different cheating things. I mean, shit, Pennsylvania changed their constitution without a vote, and I don't think that's correct. But then he did pretty good as far as in his off time. And I feel like in a lot of ways it was actually more beneficial for us as American people. I hated Biden. I've always hated Biden. I never thought that guy was a good guy. I remember seeing clips of him in '88, lying and telling people that he had, had multiple degrees and best in his class. Turns out he was the bottom of his class, had one degree. He's always been a POS. Now in 2024, I definitely voted for him. I flew flags. I fucking wore shirts, hats, all of it. And I got a lot of crap from friends. In fact, today, and that's what sparked things today. Today I stopped by Dollar General to grab some taco seasonings so we could make some tacos. And I ran into a buddy of mine, and we were talking on the way out of the store, and he saw the Trump sticker I have on my window, which is Trump riding his passenger. And he was like, "You don't like this guy, do you?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do. He was our best option." And I still believe he was our best option. Do I like everything that's going on? No. I think Iran is a mess. And I don't I don't disagree with what he's doing necessarily, but I think it's a giant mess. I think that we need to work on more domestic problems. USAID, breaking that was probably the best thing that they did for the Republican Party in general, really. Because they were the ones funding all the bullshit. They were the ones, taking money and just giving it away for gender studies and bullshit. A bunch of fucking bullshit. And I personally just think that, we should be concerned more about our veterans, our seniors. You know, we have a major, major homeless problem. And the homeless problem isn't necessarily like all just that they don't have homes. I mean, some of those people are just drug addicts. And that's the way they prefer to live their life. But you have to wonder, like, I've got a buddy of mine that's going through some stuff. He's an alcoholic, and he has a lot of problems. He had a lot of trouble in his youth. Most of it not his fault at all. But he escapes with drugs and alcohol. And I wonder if that might be the problem with a lot of these homeless people. If they got diddled as kids, or mom and dad didn't love them, whatever. I don't know, but they resorted to drinking and getting high, and I mean, I can't even tell you how many people I've known that have overdosed on heroin and are gone. I mean, not for a while, because I don't hang out with any of those kind of people, but I knew a lot of people, especially in Kansas City. I knew a lot of people in Kansas City that OD'd. And it's sad, because most of them were very good people. Just had troubles. So I'm not shitting on them for that. What I'm saying is, a lot of things that don't, a lot of those things that happen sometimes are because there's no economic opportunity for them. There's no way for them to be happy in their own lives. NAFTA, created a job vacuum. And it's only gotten worse over the years. So I think that could be a major issue. Our economy is shit. I wouldn't care about $4 an hour gas if we made, a decent living wage. But they don't seem to care about that. And I don't know if that's Trump. I don't know if that's just politicians in general. Yeah, they make their own pockets fat with all the fucking insider trading, which is not insider trading. Bullshit. It's insider trading. And we can't seem to get like the SAVE Act passed. And I don't understand that at all. I'm in Missouri. I have to show my ID to vote. I think that should be mandatory for all fucking places. Like, you should have to show your ID. I want to know that you're a United States citizen and you have the right to vote. The left will tell you it's anti-woman and anti-immigrant. No, I mean, if you're a legal immigrant, or you're a legal, woman to vote, you have that right. It's real easy. Everybody needs an ID to go into a bar. Why wouldn't you need an ID to vote? It's there's so many issues that we need to work on. Our education system is shit. It was shit when I was a kid, and it's just gotten worse. I don't feel like I learned a whole lot after 8th grade, to be honest, and I went to college. And what I learned was my own doing. It was me making the effort. It was me reading, me studying, me doing research, me trying to figure things out. And some of it was also the people I was around, because they wanted to do that too. And a lot of them are Democrats. And I've lost a lot of them as friends because they stopped wanting to know the truth. They're happy with whatever is anti-Trump, whatever is, pro-Democrat, which in my day, like, Democrats weren't pedophile lovers. They weren't, trying to mutilate children. As far as I can remember, they were the ones trying to protect the children from all that shit. You know. Now I didn't realize a lot of them were racist bigots and shit like that, but they are. And I mean, a lot of them hate themselves. It's fucking stupid. So I don't know. I don't know of any of the solutions, but I just wish I wish Trump was the tyrant that they say he is. Because I'd love to see him like go through and prosecute all these pricks, all the ones that went after him, trying to destroy him. I'd love to see that over. I want to see all of them go away. And I know it's unlikely, but if I could get a message to Trump, I'd tell him do it. Don't give a shit what anybody says. Do what needs to be done. Save this country. Because the Democrats aren't going to. They're throwing it away. I mean, they allowed 10 to 20 million illegal immigrants in. Gave them driver's license. Gave them phones. Gave them a stipend. Fuck you. The American people deserve that money. It seems like you just print it off anyway. And I'm not saying a handout, but maybe a hand up. I really hope things get better. And I'd like to do more to make it better. So as much as I don't really always like talking politics with people, I do have a pretty strong opinion about them, so maybe here and there I will. Besides, it kind of fits into everything with Skylar. I want her to know where I've been, what I've done, and where I think things are going, and what I think might be able to help. So I hope that anybody, if you're still listening, I really hope you vote Republican this midterm. I think it's very important, because otherwise all we're going to have is chaos. We're going to have Trump impeached. I mean, that'll happen within the first month probably. And I hate to see that happen. I'm tired of like stagnation. I want to see progress. Not the left's progress, the right's progress. I want to see us move forward and make this a country great. Because as far as I'm concerned, it is. It was, is, and will be. So, on that note, I guess I'll say goodbye, say goodnight. I got a pretty hectic week, but I'll be here tomorrow. And we'll see if I can come up with any other ideas. Maybe more solutions instead of complaints. That'd be nice, right? Well, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, please subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow.